Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. This year, I was very excited about cooking our Thanksgiving dinner because my wife just gave me a challenge. She asked me whether it is possible for me to cook the entire Thanksgiving dinner in the wok. She said since it's only for two of us, we don't need very much. She said instead of turkey, I would like you to bake a chicken. Well, first of all, I'm glad that she asked me to bake the chicken instead because I really don't like turkey that much. Secondly, she said she would like to have some stuffing, the same type of stuffing she remember how her grandmother used to make it. And then she would like to have some mashed potatoes. And she always enjoy mashed potatoes since I don't cook it very much. So for Thanksgiving, this will be a great opportunity. Lastly, she said she would like to have a vegetable medley as a side dish. Okay, let's get into the kitchen and see what we could do. I walked into the kitchen around noon. I plan to have the dinner at 3 p.m. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make some stuffing. I have some bread that I baked earlier during the week. I diced one red onion to make the stuffing. I'm going to use Italian seasoning to season the stuffing. I'm going to use a generous portion of it. On top of that, I'm going to add some sea salt as well. I'm not following any recipes. I'm just going to use my intuition to see the type of flavor that I will enjoy. Followed by that, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese next. To me, cooking is most fun when you're able to free to create. And then I decided that I'm going to add some egg. I know the egg will serve as a binding ingredient to hold everything together. Finally, I mix all of them well, and now I'm ready to prepare the chicken and put the stuffing right inside the chicken. I purchased this chicken about 3 or 4 days ago. I would call it a medium-sized chicken. It is relatively inexpensive. It only costs 95 cents a pound, and this whole chicken is about $5. I removed the internal organs from the chicken. As I have those pieces laid out on the kitchen counter, my cats become very interested, so I decided that maybe they will get a treat as well. The chicken is quite wet, so I'm drying it with a piece of sponge cloth as much as possible. Next, I use a pair of tongs to put the stuffing into the abdomen of the chicken. Initially, I was not going to prepare a stuffing for the chicken. However, my wife told me that I should because she remembered fondly of the stuffing that her grandmother made when she was a child. I realized that one of the most significant aspects of a holiday dinner is all about memory of the past. Now, I try to put as much of the stuffing into the chicken as I can, and I was really surprised how much that I could put inside the chicken. To provide the chicken with some flavor, I decided I'm going to rub some sea salt on the surface of the chicken. In retrospect, looking, I should have used regular salt because the sea salt just do not integrate into the chicken very much at all. Now I'm ready to put the chicken in a wok. I'm going to use initially my Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok. I put a rack at the bottom of the wok so I will keep the chicken from touching the bottom surface of the wok. I put the chicken into the wok, and the Cucina stainless steel wok comes with a cover. So I'm going to bake the first period of time with the cover on. But when I bring the cover over, I realize that the chicken is too tall and the cover will not work. I could still make it work by cover the wok with tin foil. However, I have another wok which is a 13-inch cook standard wok. Now the 13-inch cook standard wok has a dome cover. So my suspicion is that the dome cover will provide sufficient space for fitting in the chicken. And it turned out that this type of cover worked very well for the chicken. I put the chicken into my oven that has been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I baked the chicken with the cover on for about 2 hours. By this point, the internal temperature of the chicken has reached around 107 degrees Fahrenheit. I decided I would prepare a glaze for the chicken. I used something called honey lemon tea. This is a product of Korea. Basically, it is a honey with lemon. To the honey lemon, I'm going to add an equal part of a salad dressing known as Asian sesame dressing. My goal is that to coat the chicken with this glaze, and then I will put it back in the oven, and this will cause the skin to brown. I use a Teflon brush to apply this glaze over the surface of the chicken. I then put the chicken back into the oven without the cover. This will allow the surface to brown. And finally, I turn it to boil, and that will further darken the chicken. After removing the chicken from the oven, I took out the stuffings and serve it on a serving plate. Once the chicken has cooled down, I start to carve the chicken, and from whatever I can tell as I'm doing the carving, the chicken looks very good. It is very moist. I think baking the chicken for the first 2 hours really help to maintain the moisture of the chicken, and you can tell the meat is very tender. Now the chicken done, I set it aside, and now I'm ready to make the mashed potatoes. I use the regular baked potatoes for making the mashed potato. Of course, you can use other type of potato as well. Mashed potatoes has always been my wife's favorite, but the way how I cook with stir fry, we don't cook with mashed potato that often. So this is really a great opportunity. I cooked the mashed potato in the wok. It turned out to be great because the wok has a large opening, so it's much easier to stir the mashed potato, and it also prevents them from boiling over. During the cooking process, I constantly stir the potatoes in the wok. I think this will help the potato to cook a little bit faster. After I drain the fluid from the wok, I put the potato back into the wok, and I'm going to mash the potato. I use my hamburger meat chopper, which normally I use it for break up fried rice, but it seems to work really well in this case. Since I don't have any milk on hand, I'm going to use some heavy whipping cream for mashing up the potatoes. Next, I'm going to add some butter. As my wife always said to me, there's never going to be too much butter in a dish. Last step is to season the potatoes. I'm going to add just salt and pepper. And now all I have left is to cook the vegetable dish. I went to the refrigerator and see what kind of vegetable that I have already prepped. So I found some broccoli, and I also find some mushroom. And to that, I'm going to use green pepper as well as orange pepper. And finally, I'm going to add some tomatoes. Originally, I was going to make the Thanksgiving standard side dish, green bean casserole. And my wife said to me, no, why don't you just cook your regular vegetable medley because it is much faster and also it is healthier. I know she's right because not too long ago I was reading about the change of the Thanksgiving meal over time. Today, the Thanksgiving meal tend to be more healthy rather than have a lot of casseroles that are rich in cheese and other dairy products. So this is the last dish, and the dinner is ready. So for two of us, that is actually a lot of food. In fact, we have quite a bit of left over. Cooking this Thanksgiving dinner was a lot of fun for me because I got to do cooking that I normally do not do. This is the first time that I bake a chicken in the wok. It turned out to be relatively simple and straightforward based on some of the templates that I have used in the past. The wok turned out to be really great. It's not only able to bake the chickens, but it's also wonderful for making the mashed potatoes. And for this reason, I really like stainless steel wok because of its versatility and its ability to be used in the oven. So for anybody who live in an apartment or in a small kitchen and do not have a lot of cooking utensils, a wok definitely something that you could use for almost all the different cooking tasks, in this case making a Thanksgiving dinner. As I have mentioned earlier, I am not a great cook. I'm just an average home cook, and what I try to show you in my video is that to demonstrate to you what is possible, that you don't need to have a lot of things, and you don't need to be an exceptional cook. All you have to do is have a bunch of templates, then you can create many different dishes. Hopefully you will give it a try in your next Thanksgiving, or even just for your Christmas dinner. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.